edition of Athena Hack. Hopefully everyone's excited as we are. I'll give a quick intro for those that don't know me. So I'm Alex Adams, part of the Showcode team organising Athena Hack. And we'll kind of be with you throughout this week through various partner sessions, through various Discord answers, questions, making sure that you're kind of as prepared as possible for Athena at the weekend. Before we get into it, I will hand over to Connor to give a quick intro, and then we'll get into the hack session.
Hi guys, I'm Connor, the community manager over at Showcode. So I work with the team to make sure our user experience is the best it can be, make sure that everything's focused on what our users want from a community perspective, and help make our events be the best they can be.
Thank you very much. So yeah, any questions that you have about the hack in general, about hacks in general, we'll have a little bit at the end kind of to go through it, but hopefully we can help answer some of your questions about both Athena and hackathons in general as part of this session today. The aim of this session really is kicking off the week. So this week we will be providing, alongside some of our hack partners, some sessions that will help you this weekend if you're competing. But if you're not competing, whether that's because you can't make it or because you're looking for one of our hacks in the future, all of these sessions should equip you quite well for other hacks you take part in too. So don't worry too much if you're not coming to Athena or if you're only coming next year. This should be relevant for everything. So we will start off with the basics because I know a few people may kind of still not quite know what a hackathon is, or it may be their first hackathon. So what is a hackathon as our first topic? So I think as a kind of like initial outline, because as we'll see with the examples in a minute, there are a lot of different definitions of a hack, and some of you may have been to some before, and some of you may have been to some very different ones. But I think they come in all shapes and sizes, different levels of competitiveness, technical focus, and output. But at its core, it's an event where people team up to solve any given tech challenge over a certain period of time. The hackathon element usually comes from a marathon-like. So with Athena, you have a whole 24 hours in a row to kind of come up with your solution to that problem. So whether it's at a kind of very corporate technical level event where they give you a certain brief that you have 2 days to solve, or whether it's something like Athena that's more tech for good focused, where you get to come up with a cool project, it's something where you team up with people and kind of take it through from ideation stage to, we'll come on to this a bit later as well, but at least kind of a prototype level for your solution. And I think just for anyone kind of new, to give a few examples, this year at Athena, we're going to have 3 high-level challenges to choose from, and they will come with your hack packs later this week and will be on the Showcode platform too. But they can accommodate kind of newbies starting out in tech. So we're very aware that Athena is not just for kind of experienced developers, but people potentially coming into the industry. So they're quite high level and kind to people that are maybe taking their first steps into tech. But it also offers enough, for any experienced devs taking part to get their teeth stuck into it and create a kind of, working solution by the end of it. You can have hackathons that are more competitive, where the prize is the focus, more so than the community element. So if you've taken part in any university hacks, if you've taken part in any corporate hacks potentially, or we'll be hearing from our partner Sam Larson Disney at some point this week, who, as some of you probably know, does love to compete in a hackathon. But usually the prize is the focus of those types of things. They're usually a bit more competitive, and they're usually much more technically focused than something like Athena, where the output is, the desired outcome, rather than what we like to think of Athena as something where the output is great at the end of it, but it's about kind of coming along, experiencing it, networking with our partners and with your community members too. With both this and Athena, you and your team will own the IP to your projects. Like whatever you come up with, it'll be yours. There's another type of hackathon that you may potentially come across that is more to do with a corporate setting. So sort of mentioned it at the start, where you may be either at your work or at somewhere else and be set with a specific task. So if a company has a certain issue that they can't solve, or has been kind of a blocker for ages, that it's about time that they unblock, they may blank out everyone's calendar for 2 days, get a venue like we've got with CodeNode, get everyone all in one place, and focus literally just for that 2 days coming up with solutions to the problem and seeing how that can help their business. In which case that is more of a sort of goal-oriented hack. But I think hopefully that kind of gives you an overview of the different types of level hackathons are. So when you're looking at hacks to do, hopefully after this, if you like Athena as much as we do, look out, I guess, for the different types of hackathons there are. When there are big prize pools, that's great, but just bear in mind that they're going to be more competitive and more technically focused. And then the same with some company ones is, you may not own your IP and it may be community driven. So just because, you come to Athena and hopefully have a great time, it doesn't mean all hacks are going to kind of like be the same. There's a lot of different definitions. So that covers the basis. But I think, if you're still unsure, go and check out some stuff on Showcode, go check out some stuff on DevPost, and obviously we'll go through it and you can experience it yourself at the weekend. Any questions, like we say, we'll have a question bit at the end, but obviously feel free to use the chat function as well and we'll pick it up throughout. But I think we'll move on to preparing specifically for Athena now.
So what's really important for you guys to know about the Athena hack is that there is loads going on that us and our partners are putting on for you. So when you arrive, we're at Code Node in London, and it's across multiple floors with loads of different rooms. So as you enter, there'll be a chance for you to get loads of swag from us. So we'll give you a t-shirt, we'll give you a lanyard that you can pop your name on. And as you head downstairs and meet our partners, they'll be giving out loads and loads of different items depending on the partner. And this is your prime opportunity to spend not only that time, but the time throughout the kind of 24 to 48 hours that you're with us, networking obviously within your team, but also talking to our partners, getting to know them, because they have either opportunities to hire or they have opportunities that are coming up in the near future. And they're really interested to hear what it is that you can bring to the table, how you can get involved, and what it is you can do to make their company better, as well as them offer you some great services in the future. So I think it's quite different to your normal event when it comes to partners. It isn't just about coming to the event and trying to get a job at the event. It's about starting to build the long game of your career. So starting to know people, learn how the industry works if it's your first time trying to get into it, or meeting new people to make sure that you can keep your networks up to date, you can keep learning, and you can understand what is happening for trends throughout the sector. And that's kind of where mentoring comes in. So what we tend to do at Athena is try and match people up in different teams with different backgrounds, so you can all start to support each other and learn from each other. And there will be some more senior people across the day that will be coming around, such as our ambassadors, to talk to you guys, get to know you, ask anything you need, and kind of make sure that as a company, we understand what our community needs are, and we can build our services around that. And then if you're interested in, because you are moving on in your career, want to try something new, you can sign up to become a mentor with us or an ambassador in the future. And I'll be around on the day for you to ask any questions about that. And I'll probably come around and try and talk to as many people as I can about it whilst I'm there. In terms of the hackathon, it's quite a relaxed environment. So when you get there, you'll sign in, get your t-shirt, you can mooch around. We'll then have some workshops going on by some of our partners. And then we'll have our intro talk before we actually start the hack. But in terms of the hack itself, it takes place over 24 hours and you can come and go as you please. So a lot of hackathons are really intense and you kind of sit at your table for the whole 24 hours and your food gets delivered to you and you don't really stop the hack at any point. Whereas for us, we want to create a much more relaxed, much more calm, much more kind of beginner-friendly environment and give you the flexibility to decide whether you want to go really hard and stay at your table, whether you want to be able to take a break, have a drink, go outside and get some dinner, even though we're providing food, go for a walk. Whatever you want to do, you can kind of do within the environment. You can stay overnight or you can choose to go home and come back. It's completely up to you. So we want to create an environment that's welcome to everyone. At the event, we'll give you a bit more housekeeping around the space itself, but hopefully we'll have everything that everyone will need whilst you are there. In terms of the support whilst you're there, whether you're a beginner or a senior, we'll have support from teaming through to technical help. So if you haven't got a team member already, don't worry about it. We know a lot of people have been emailing us with questions around that. We're going to do speed teaming on the day. So we've done a lot of teaming already. And if you should hopefully know if you're in a team, you would have been connected already. And if not, you just turn up on the day and we'll sort that out for you. If you're a team that's lost a member or doesn't show up, just come to the teaming station on the day and we'll help you out. And if you're having any technical issues throughout the whole event, we'll have one of our incredible Showcode team or ambassadors available to be able to help you out. You'll notice us on the day because you won't be able to stop here us chit-chatting to everyone. And there'll be a table you can come and chat to us at. As we've kind of said a number of times, the event is open to anyone with any skill level or any experience. So please don't be nervous about coming and speaking to us or not knowing anything. We have our mentors for that that purpose, and we've purposely tried to team a range of people up in different ways to make sure you have got a kind of diverse experience within your teams. But as I said, we're around. You can come talk to us. We've all been there. Everyone who's at this hackathon, if it isn't their first one, has had their first hackathon. And that's what's great about Athena. It's all about kind of women helping other women, people from non-binary backgrounds feeling that they can turn up in spaces that aren't usually theirs. And for us as a team, making sure we can create that environment for you and be as helpful as possible. Throughout the kind of 48 hours that we're running the event, there are a range of different workshops and talks on site. So downstairs, when you get there, all of our partners will have their own areas that you can go and talk to them, find out more about them. And they've got some incredible reps coming along all the way from different parts of their companies and their programs, because we wanted to make sure everything we brought to you was diverse in this week. So whether you're a data scientist, an analyst, a software engineer, there should be someone for you to talk to get out of the weekend what it is you need. On the first day at 10 a.m, we're hoping you guys, as we'll move on to the next slide a bit more about like how it's going to work, but we'll have a workshop with Lloyd's Banking Group at 10 a.m. on the first day. So before we start to warm up, hopefully a bit of a fun workshop for you guys to be able to kind of relax, get into the atmosphere and have a good time. And then some of our other partners will be running workshops throughout, which we'll tell you about in the intro talk. And then obviously pizza. Everyone loves pizza. There will also be other foods. There'll be vegan options, vegetarian options, gluten-free, everything you need. We've captured everything you've told us in the intro ticketing form, and hopefully there's something for everyone. We'll also then open the bar later on in the evening, but throughout the day we'll have a coffee barista with soft drinks that will be able to provide you with hopefully everything you need. Cool. So what to look out for and things to keep in mind in terms of what you need to bring. Make sure you kind of bring your laptop. We work really hard to try and make this as kind of accessible and easy as possible by providing as much as we can. Unfortunately, we're not the size of company where we can provide kind of your laptops for you at the moment. So we do advise you to bring your own laptop and your own charger. We will have charging stations at each of your stations. So don't worry about having to like struggle or bring an extender cable or anything like that. We'll be able to charge at your tables. We'll also try and make sure we've got flip chart papers and pens and everything else you need. We've got whiteboards, the lot. If there's anything specific you think you need that will help you in your hack that you've done in the past or you've seen online, feel free to drop us an email on athena@showcode.io this week, and we can work with CodeNode, our partners, to try and see what we can provide. And if we can't, we'll let you know. It's really important in terms of when you if this is your first hack and you're looking online at what hacks look like, you always kind of get that Instagram versus reality situation. But we just want to say like the expectations at our hackathon is that it's relaxed, it's for everyone, and we want to make sure that everyone can have a good time. So if things aren't working, come and talk to us. If it's really difficult, come and let us know. We're there to help you have the best experience. And in terms of creating your solution, you've got 24 hours. You're not like changing the world. You're not building Apple for the first time. Like you're trying to create solutions that one day could become a really good like project to implement, but you're just trying to create a concept and a solution that's testable and can be shown and presented as a great idea. So if your project isn't incredible and turning out how you want it to look like, don't worry about it. We're not looking for perfectionists here. So just relax, enjoy it, take your time. In terms of arrival, doors open at 9. So please start arriving from 9. It's really busy, but we're fully sold out and our waiting list is huge. So please do come along as early as you can to help us get you in the space, get you kind of relaxed, finding your tables, finding your teams, finding your stations. And then we will be starting the intro at 11. There is the Lloyd's Banking Group session at 10, and we would like recommend coming for it because it's going to be really, really fun. They've got some cool stuff for you guys to try out. And I'm not going to lie, I don't want to miss it. And sadly, I'm working. But that also means you can grab your breakfast because we're providing brunch. You can get some coffee and you can start to relax before it all gets started. And in terms of if you're staying overnight, the venue is open. You can come and go as you please whenever you need to. But we do recommend like bringing some comfy clothes, something you feel comfortable in, maybe an extra couple of layers. Obviously, don't bring your whole bed. But if you want to bring a little blanket that folds in your bag, do. I probably will be too, just so I can be comfy. And do whatever makes you feel comfortable. I'm probably going to bring my Nintendo Switch. You guys can bring whatever it is, some card games, anything that just makes you feel relaxed, can have fun and enjoy your stay overnight with us if you decide to stay.
Amazing. So I think hopefully that covers the basis in terms of, sort of what to expect over the weekend. Just a note before we get into the general hack tips and stuff for Athena. We will be sending, kind of as we do in the past, like some hack pack updates for you, so you'll kind of get info on all of the themes, what to bring, the venue, location, etc. You won't just need to remember it all off by heart off this conversation. We will be recording the session, so it'll be on YouTube that will promote as well. But do feel free to get in touch, as Connor said. Athena@showcode.io is the email, or obviously you can use the Discord server and just ping us, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So hopefully that kind of clears up and helps you prepare for Athena this weekend. And some final kind of tips, I guess, to leave you with before we get into the questions. First and foremost, I think this was one that like I say, our partner Soundlast and Disney highlighted quite a lot last year, is focus on the cool stuff. So Connor's already mentioned, you're not going to get everything done over 24 hours. Like, it's not going to happen. Your maximum teams of 5, even if you're the best developer, engineer, designer, product manager in the world, it's not going to happen. So with all due respect and with all kindness, we don't need to see your login screens. We don't need to see the, 2-factor authentication. It's great to consider it. It's great to say that it'll be there, but focus on what will make your product and your solution stand out. Because countless times at hackathons, going through presentations and product demos, half the time is spent going through a login screen, which, is great, but anyone can do that, and it's not worth spending your time on. Make the most of the available resources. So Connor's already mentioned the workshops that we have. Our session with Lloyds Banking Group is later on as well. So we've got a webinar with them later to go through some stuff around accessible design. They will then be bringing in some really cool tech to go alongside the accessible design and be having a workshop on site. So make sure to take advantage of that. The other workshops we've got going on, but then there's going to be plenty of mentors there. There's going to be plenty of partners there to go and chat to and ask questions to, but also ask each other. Like, I think one of the best things from my perspective about the Athenas that we've done in the past is the collaboration between teams. If you're struggling with something, pop a question on the Discord server and we'll see if anyone can help out, or ask one of us, and we may not be able to answer your back-end question straight away, but there may be some back-end devs that are willing to help out. And I think there's been loads of cross-team collaboration in the past that has helped solve that bug or find that solution or outline that problem. So make sure that you're kind of happy and confident enough to go and ask those questions and make the most of them, because I think that's one of the things that hopefully will make Athena a kind of special experience for you guys. Spend time ideating and researching. So I think one of the big problems that we see with quite a lot of our hacks is you get an initial idea and then you go down the route of doing a bit of research or going and creating the solution straight away, and then getting halfway into the hack and going, oh well, maybe there's not actually appetite for this, or maybe it doesn't actually work for the target audience, and then half of your hack is gone, or you just carry on down that path because you've done so much. So you may have the best idea straight away, but spend some time researching, spend some time coming up with your ideas, go through different bits as you're kind of mapping it out, and come up with a few different ideas so that when you go and do your research, when you go and look into it, it's a really important part of it, right? Like, we'll go through what the criteria are, what the themes are, but a huge part of it is kind of the viability of each solution. It's great if you've come up with something really cool, but like, will people actually use it? So make sure that you spend a lot of time doing that and don't just go down the first kind of idea that you come up with. Again, Connor mentioned earlier the relaxed environment, and I think part of that is take breaks. We have a lot of people that stay overnight and that go through various things, and that's all great. Like, we want you to stay overnight. We want you to be coding until 3 a.m. if that's what you want to do, and making the most of our late night snacks and doing whatever to power you through. But also, it's super important, and we have a lot going on. The event is, for those of you that haven't been, is like right in sort of like the heart of the city, so there's great walks to go on. The like check-in and check-out process is relatively laid back. It's just like tick in, tick out, so you can go and make the most of it. And whether that's on-site or off-site, just make sure you're taking breaks and not spending the whole time going through the hack and then get to the end at 24 hours and just be completely burnt out. And I think on that note, as cliche and cheesy as it comes, because I think Athena is all about, you know, the cheesiness and the community vibes. So make sure you have fun. Like, don't get too bogged down if something's difficult. Don't get too caught up if there's a bug. Don't worry if at the 10 o'clock on Sunday you look at what you've done and go, it's not quite what I had in mind. It's all hopefully going to be an experience for you. It's hopefully going to be an opportunity for you to, whether you're not sure about your journey into the tech industry, hopefully discovering that passion, whether you're already passionate about tech and looking to take the next step, or whether you're just there to kind of come and compete at your first, second, third hackathon. There's something for everyone. So just make sure that you enjoy it, make the most of it, and get all the free swag and free food and free whatever you can, if it's not the project that is what makes you happy at the end of it. So we'll have more hack tips in the intro as well. We'll share some more via email, but I think they're just some that we wanted to touch on that, like I say, can be translated across all hacks that you do. I think in general, this is preparing you for the weekend, but if you go and do any afterwards, if, like I say, you're not competing in Athena this time around but wanted to tune in, these are relatively good hack tips for all of them. So I think with that in mind, that probably is all we've got for now. We'll see if there are any questions. I think there is one already in the chat. If you do have any questions, pop them in the chat now. As we say, we're always open on email and Discord as well. So if you're watching this back, or if you can't think of anything now but think of something later on, don't be afraid to let us know. But the first question is there space for a sleeping bag if we're staying overnight? So in terms of sleeping arrangements, it would just be a case of bringing your own stuff. There's a couple of like areas with settees and more. We've got like a room that's more of a chilled area. So it's not just going to be, tables everywhere. So there's different things that you can bring, but just make sure to kind of prepare yourself in that situation. We're not going to provide blankets or pillows or anything like that. And while we're going through the questions, I see that there's one about Discord. So let me just go and get a link for people now.
I'll answer your question about staying overnight while Alex does that. So in terms of staying overnight, there isn't particular places to sleep. So we don't have like restrooms or beds or anything. You'll just have your chairs and the spaces around you. We do have a comfy room. So in one of our spaces, we'll be creating a bit of like a lounge area. And there will be some sofas and comfy chairs. So you might want to pop in there for a quick nap. Lots of people kind of just sleep where they fancy, really. Take naps in corners, that kind of stuff. It's quite a funny thing to see if you've never seen it, but you'll know what I mean when you come to the event at the weekend.
Cool. And I think a question around the themes. So we will deliver the themes. You'll get them via email, and I think we've already released the Cisco one. We'll release a couple more via email as well. They'll be sent out, I think, on Friday via email so that you have them all. But Saturday is when we will give you the full in-depth brief of each, so you'll sort of get like the headline figure so you can have a chat about it beforehand, see what you think, but we won't give you the full detail just so that no one is starting early, but you should kind of get the theme so you can at least have an idea and a bit of a chat, and we'll post them on socials and Discord and everything if you haven't seen them already. Question about coding programs or softwares you need to have. No, so we are purposely very open at Athena. We don't want to like pigeonhole anyone or anything. You can use whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you want to use, whatever you need to use. There may be certain things that work better than others depending on what you're trying to create, but that's not something we will force you down or make you do. One of the themes does mention a specific type of tech if you want to do it, but it's not a necessity, and that'll be launched kind of in full later in the week, but we won't at any point make you use a specific language, framework, software, etc. You'll be able to just use what you want and connect your GitHub at the end of it.
Chloe, there aren't any showers at the facility.
And Prisha, you can leave at any time. The only thing we'd say with like leaving and coming back is, and again, we'll release the full schedule and send it out again for anyone that hasn't seen it, but just make sure you're there for key times. So, if you want to go home on Saturday because you're more comfortable at 4 o'clock working from home for a bit, then absolutely, but try and come back for Sunday so that you're there for the hack deadline if there's any support needed, and so that you can pitch at the end if needed too. So very flexible with coming and going. We're not going to restrict that, but you'll have the highlights and the timetable so that you can see when is the best times to be there. And then Natasha, just on your question as well around computer monitors, there isn't anything on site. So again, it's just a case of bringing your own laptop and devices with you, basically. There's not anything like that on site, but there's the power, but you've got to bring your own chargers, and there's internet, but you've got to bring your own laptops. It's, one of those where we're trying to accommodate as much as we can, but it will kind of be down to you to bring your machinery, whatever it is that you want to use. And then Tia, another question. So will we get more info about the criteria we'll be assessed on? So yes, as part of the intro session, we will release like full judging criteria for each theme. It will be on the Showcode platform so that you can see it in depth if you don't record the intro session or whatever it is. So that info will be like available to you for each specific theme, and there'll be like a little highlights intro video as well from each theme sponsor, just to go through like exactly the type of thing they're looking for. So you should be all covered on kind of the details of each theme, and that will all be released on Saturday. So don't worry too much if you've missed any of it so far. We'll get that over to you. Cool. I think the questions seem to have slowed down slightly, which is always a good sign, hopefully. But like we say, if you do have anything, just let us know. We'll be available all week, and on Saturday as well before the hack. You can come and chat to us and ask us any questions. We're always happy to help. And I think like last piece of advice really would be, come along and try it out. Like even if you're unsure at this point, as long as you've got a ticket, come along. We'll put you in a team. If you want to be put in a team, you can come and kind of like experience Athena and go through it in that sense. So hopefully everyone is looking forward to it. Oh, final question from Hannah. How many themes will there be in total? So there's going to be 3 themes for you to choose from. You'll have to commit to one of the themes, but we'll go through all 3 so you can choose which one. And you don't have to commit straight away. Like we're not going to make you within the first 10 minutes choose which one you've got to do. So you can come up with a few ideas for either. Our sort of like top tip on that would be each theme has its own prize. So, if you notice that one's super popular, then maybe go for one of the others to increase chances of prizes. But we can see how that goes on Saturday as well.
It's also worth mentioning there are subcategories. So within the themes that you're trying to complete, there'll be other smaller challenges that you can win prizes on. So I think one of them's around making whatever it is you design being really accessible from one of our partners. So keep an eye out for those too.
Yes, definitely. And you can, you're completely flexible in choosing those themes as well. Like you can choose whichever one appeals to you most, which one you think you've got the best idea for. Or like I say, if you just want to be tactical about it and think no one's doing that one, so I'm going to do it to try and win the prize, then that's also a good line of attack. So hopefully that's cleared stuff up for everyone. Hopefully we see you all on the Lloyds Banking Group session later on too. If you need anything from us in the meantime, just let us know. But thank you very much for coming to the first session, and look forward to seeing you this weekend. Cheers, everyone.